Hello and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host Karim Zimik. Here are the headlines. Handicraft Centre in India's Udhampur providing carpet weaving training to women. Door-to-door COVID-19 vaccination for women starts in Pakistan's Karachi. And Sikhs in India mark birth anniversary of their last spiritual leader. Let's begin the show with India, where the cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 are witnessing a sharp rise. The healthcare authorities have been working round the clock to ramp up facilities for both who have contracted the virus and those who are vulnerable. Indian Prime Minister has also asked the people to maintain social distancing during a meeting with heads of the states.
As the graph of Omicron cases touches new heights in India, the health authorities have taken comprehensive steps to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted virtually with state heads over the COVID-19 situation in the country. He informed that Rs 23,000 crore package allocated by the centre to the states has been utilised well for strengthening their health infrastructure. Prime Minister Modi had called for ensuring adequate health infrastructure at the district level and accelerating the vaccination drive for adolescents in mission mode.
लोकल कंटेनमेंट पर ज्यादा फोकस करना बेहतर होगा। जहां से ज्यादा केस आ रहे हैं, जहां ज्यादा से ज्यादा और तेजी से टेस्टिंग हो, ये सुनिश्चित करना भी आवश्यक है। इसके अलावा हमें ये भी सुनिश्चित करना होगा कि होम आइसोलेशन में ही ज्यादा से ज्यादा ट्रीटमेंट हो सके।
While a sudden spike in the infected number has caused concern among many, Omicron, a relatively less threatening variant as compared to Delta variant, has provided a sigh of relief across the health spectrum. Although the situation has not become as grim as the second wave, the Government of India is claiming to be prepared for a further rise that is predicted to peak in mid-February. The Health Ministry, which has cautioned citizens to be more assertive, has also said the country has also reported a low hospitalization, even less than half of what it reported during the second wave.
Omicron is not common cold. इसी ओमिक्रॉन की वजह से कई देशों के हेल्थ सिस्टम कोलैप्स हो गए। इसी की वजह से बहुत हद तक हेल्थ वर्कर्स को घर में छुट्टी लेके बैठना पड़ा और प्रेशर पड़ा। सोसाइटी की जिम्मेवारी है कि इसको स्लो करें। इंडिविजुअल की जिम्मेवारी है कि अपनी प्रोटेक्शन करें मास्क से, फैमिली की प्रोटेक्शन करें मास्क लगा के, और प्रोटेक्शन करें वैक्सीन लेके, जो भी छूटे हैं।
India began administering COVID-19 vaccine boosters to frontline workers and vulnerable elderly people on January 10.
मैं यहाँ पे अपनी थर्ड वैक्सीनेशन की डोज लेने आया हूँ और यहाँ पे जो सिस्टम वगैरह जो उनका है वो बहुत अच्छा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई, बहुत जल्दी काम हो गया है।
The Health Ministry said only 5 to 10% of the infected have sought hospitalization compared with 20 to 23% during the Delta-driven last wave that peaked in May 2021. Authorities in metropolitan cities of Delhi and Mumbai say most people have shown no or only mild symptoms that have recovered quickly at home.
Pakistan is also witnessing a huge rise in coronavirus cases, which led the government to speed up the vaccination drive. As women in the country are lagging behind the men in rates of coronavirus inoculation, health officials in the country have taken an initiative to launch door-to-door campaign. We have this detailed report.
The rapid increase in the coronavirus cases altogether led Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, to launch a door-to-door vaccination campaign for women as the country has entered the fifth wave of pandemic. This vaccination campaign will have an assistance from female health workers who have long played an instrumental role in country-wide polio vaccination campaigns in South Asian nations. Along with a plan to vaccinate women, health workers vaccinated elderly men who were unable to reach out to vaccination centers.
घर घर जाके वैक्सीनेशन के अमल में हमने टीम कंप्राइज की हैं जो हर यूनियन काउंसिल के हिसाब से रखी हुई हैं। और उस यूनियन काउंसिल में हमने एक टीम कंप्राइज की है जिसमें एक डॉक्टर, वैक्सीनेटर, डेटा ऑपरेटर और लेडी हेल्थ वर्कर्स की जो उनकी कैचमेंट एरिया होती है अपने हर यूसी में ऑफिशियली गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से उनको एक एरिया दी गई है ताकि वो उनसे वाकिफ़ भी होती हैं, घरों में जा भी सकती हैं।
With the beginning of this door-to-door vaccination campaign for women, a sizable population of housewives who were still unvaccinated will now be vaccinated. Health officials are looking forward to target clusters in urban areas and at a later stage in rural areas. Pakistan has inoculated 100 million people against the COVID-19. Almost 70 million people in Pakistan, or 32% of population, have had 2 vaccine doses. The government has not yet announced new restrictions but has urged people to follow precautionary measures.
तो बहुत ही अच्छा इन लोगों ने इकदाम करा है क्योंकि हम लोगों को इतना टाइम नहीं मिलता कि हम घर से है ना काम ख़त्म करके जाएं। अब ये हमारे घर पे आके वैक्सीनेशन कर देंगे तो हमें फ़ायदा हो जाएगा।
The first Omicron case in Pakistan was reported on December 13 in Karachi, followed by Lahore, Islamabad seeing most of the cases. Few days back, the government authorized booster doses for the citizen over the age of 30. Children over the age of 12 are now being offered vaccination at their schools. Pakistan has lately witnessed a spike in coronavirus cases in both men and women. However, this door-to-door vaccination campaign would surely proffer a definite relief for the citizens of Pakistan.
Let's move to India's Jammu and Kashmir, where the administration is on a mission to unleash the potential of its women by training them in diverse fields. Various training centers have already been opened up across the Union territory and many more are still in the row. In Udhampur, women are not just taking their beginning steps towards self-reliance, but at the same time reviving the territory's carpet industry. A report.
Women in Muttal village of Udhampur are on the path to financial independence. With the initiatives of J&K's Handicraft Department, they are being taught carpet weaving at a handicraft center in the village. Around 25 young girls and women have enrolled themselves in the center and are getting trained by a professional. They even receive 1,000 rupees as monthly stipend from the government, which helps them to bear their small expenses. The trainees express their gratitude to the Prime Minister and the UT administration for taking such initiatives for their empowerment.
हम ये गड्डी का सेंटर इधर सीख रहे हैं, हमें सर सिखाते हैं और हमें बड़े फ़ायदे होते हैं इसके, क्योंकि हम जब घर में बैठे होते हैं, ऐसे पहले तो फ्री बैठे होते थे, तो अब जब फ्री होता है टाइम हम आ जाते हैं इधर, तो इससे हमें बड़ा फ़ायदा है, हमें पैसे भी मिलते हैं और हम मेहनत भी करते हैं, मतलब मिलते भी हैं, कुछ खर्चा पानी बच्चों के निकल जाते हैं.
Several such handicraft centers are operating across the territory, especially in far-flung areas. They are highly beneficial for those ladies who are either uneducated or have dropped out from school. It will give them an opportunity to learn a new skill and earn a living through it.
इधर 20-25 लड़कियाँ और औरतें भी आती हैं. जो लड़कियाँ 10th और 12th के बाद कुछ पढ़ रही होती हैं, डिस्टेंस में कुछ छोड़ गई हैं, तो हम सभी इधर आते हैं, तो हमें इसका बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा है. हाँ, हमें गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी पैसे मिलते हैं, तो कुछ लोग चलो कुछ घर में बैठे होते हैं तो पैसे के लिए भी आते हैं, चलो हमें पैसे भी मिल रहे हैं और काम भी सीख रहे हैं, आगे जाके हम सिखाएंगे या सीखेंगे और जॉब भी है, जो थोड़े बहुत पढ़े लिखे होंगे तो उनको जॉब भी मिल जाएगी.
Once these women get trained, it will not just help them to become self-reliant, but also breathe life into their territory's carpet industry, which is struggling for its survival. Known for its exquisite design, quality and credibility, Kashmiri carpet is renowned world over. The skill of handmade carpet weaving is also an intrinsic part of Kashmiri culture. Traditionally, J&K's carpet industry used to contribute to its economy immensely. However, due to machine-made carpets, this craft saw a sharp decline. But at present, government is on a move to revive its entire handicraft and handloom industry and broaden the artisan base across the territory. In Udhampur, training is being provided especially to women in 5 crafts so that they can further establish their own units. This will give boost to employment as well as promote the Kashmiri crafts.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Exiled Tibetans held a bike rally to protest Beijing Winter Olympics 2022 over China's human rights violation reached India's northern hill town of Dharamsala. The bike rally that was organized by Regional Tibetan Youth Congress Delhi started on December 10, 2021 from India's southern Bengaluru city. At least 14 Tibetan youth activists with 7 bikes were present at the protest site where they raised slogans and urged everyone to boycott the event. China sent troops into remote mountainous Tibet in 1950 in what it officially terms a peaceful liberation and has ruled there with an iron fist ever since. Human rights activists have urged governments and athletes worldwide to boycott 2022 Winter Olympics in China, saying that anything less would make the world complicit in what they call it genocide by Beijing. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for boosting the country's strategic military forces as he observed the test of a hypersonic missile, state media said, officially attending a missile launch for the first time in nearly 2 years. On January 11, authorities in South Korea and Japan detected the suspected launch, which drew commendation by authorities around the world and prompted an expression of concern from the UN Secretary General. The test fire was aimed at the final verification of overall technical specification of the developed hypersonic weapon system. The second test of a hypersonic missile in less than a week underscored Kim's New Year's vow to bolster the military with cutting-edge technology at a time when talks with South Korea and United States have stalled. Iraq's parliament held its first session since October's national election to elect a speaker, the first step towards forming a new government. The speaker selection process was disrupted as competing political blocs each claimed to hold a parliamentary majority. In a further complication, Mashadani, who at 73 is the oldest member of the parliament, was suddenly taken ill and transported to hospital by ambulance. The parliament's media did not give any further details about Mashadani's conditions except to say that his blood pressure was being checked. Parliament should elect a speaker and 2 deputies during its first meeting, that later on resumed. Following the imposition of luxury tax on menstrual products and tampons in Nepal, youth activists had reignited the protest after a pause of few months as the government committed to make efforts to bring the price of pads and tampons down. Protest against imposition of tax had started in Nepal right after the House of Representatives approved a replacement bill amending the annual budget plan of 2021-22. The new approval subsequently increased price of sanitary pads in market, creating a hullabaloo on social media and the country. As per the statistics of the Department of Customs, a total of 1.73 million kilograms of sanitary pads worth 1.05 billion Nepali rupees were imported in the fiscal year of 2020-2021. Nepal's Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba has pointed out that Nepal continues to bear the larger impact of climate change despite its low carbon emission rates. PM Deuba said this while launching a campaign, Unity for Sustainability Against Climate Change, in Kathmandu. The campaign, which is run by Annapurna Media Network, aims to raise awareness against climate crisis. Hailing the launch of the campaign as an important mark to raise awareness and increase dialogue about the impact of climate change, Deuba also called on all the stakeholders to stand and work together. He also mentioned that the government of Nepal is working to draft short and long-term plans targeting climate change. He further stated that he had raised the same issue during the COP26 climate summit held at Glasgow last year in the UK. One of the conglomerate media groups in Nepal, AMN exchanged MOU with 10 different organizations to work together on campaign for 2 years.
Keeping the environment clean is a new mantra for the world. Today we take you to Fukushima in Japan, where the scientists and the environmentalists have praised the efforts of Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station for treating the wastewater and discharging it into the ocean. We have a report.
When Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station was launched by Tokyo Electric Power Company, many options for disposal of stored ALPS treated water were studied by a special independent subcommittee of experts. Finally, it was concluded that discharge into the sea could be implemented more reliably. How was this concluded? Professor Hiroshi Tauchi looks back on the careful examinations.
その5つというのが、1つは海洋放出、それからもう1つが水蒸気として放出する、であるいは水素として放出する、それから地層注入、あるいは地層埋設という5つの選択肢を提案をして終わったところでございます。小委員会の場では、特にですね、社会的、経済的な問題を中心にしつつ、この5つの選択肢について、どの選択肢が最も現実的かという議論を行ってきました。実際に実行するまでの時間、あるいは経済的な投資額、あるいは実現の可能性ですね、そういうものを考慮すると、残るのは海洋放出、あるいは水蒸気放出ということになったという経緯があります。こちらについてはですね、リスクの評価を行っております。環境中に放出された時のシミュレーションですけども、広がりや、あるいはそこから想定される人への健康リスクですね。で、それの評価を行った結果として、海洋放出の方が明らかにリスクは低いということがありまして、海洋放出の方が妥当であろうという結論を出した。海洋は一定の流れ、あるいは拡散等が起こっていきますから、そちらの方がリスクが低いだろうというのが小委員会の結論ということになり、海洋放出を第一選択肢として回答したという経緯があるということです。日本の場合はですね、それぞれの原子力発電所等で、目標値というのを定めています。これは総量と濃度の両方で規制をかけているということです。で、国際基準は実は濃度しか規制はかけておりませんので、そういう意味ではもともと日本は厳しめの対応をしてきたというふうに私は理解をしております。
Based on careful examination by the government, discharge into the sea will be undertaken in the near future. From now, what is the most important?
重要なことは情報の開示と、それからモニタリングだというふうに考えています。でなおかつそれは第三者のモニタリングも可能にするということが重要だと思っています。
To confirm the path towards the decommissioning, it is necessary to obtain understanding from related local governments and residents. Mutual understanding with the parties concerned, including those from other countries, is integral. Continuous efforts by TEPCO, Fukushima citizens, the Japanese government and relevant personnel worldwide are required. Water from Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station is discharged into the sea after removing harmful nuclear materials through advanced liquid processing system. But tritium, one of the nuclear materials, still remains in the water. Keiichi Nakagawa, professor of the University of Tokyo, explains how this will be harmless.
トリチウム、水素の同位元素でありまして、ごくわずかな、ベータ線という透過性が非常に低い、放射線を放出します。 トリチウムっていうのは天然にももともと存在する物質で、したがって我々が普段から飲むお水とか、もっと言うならば我々の体の中にもトリチウムっていうのは存在するわけですね。原発の状況を見ると、アルプス処理をすることで、簡単に言うならばトリチウム以外の放射性物質は取り除ける。しかし、トリチウム水を取り除くというのは水の中から水を取り出すようなものなんですね。でこれは原理的にできない。そうするとこれを何らかの方法で放出しない限りはタンクの中にトリチウム水が溜まり続けるということになるわけですね。海に流す、これによる影響というのは極めて少ないです。総合的に考えるならば、適切な形で海洋放出をするというのがですね、最も合理的な選択ではないかなと。
Being expert in radiology, Professor Kichi mentions that the Japanese standard for sea discharge is very safe.
国の基準ではトリチウム水は6万ベクレルまで放出していいという1リットルあたり6万ベクレルまで放出していいとなっておりますが、先ほど申し上げた通り6万ベクレルのお水を生まれてから70歳まで毎日飲んでも 0.8 ミリシーベルトにしかならない。今回、東京電力はですね、その40分の1の1500ミリシーベルト未満にしようと今計画しています。したがって 0.8 の40分の1、これは本当に飛行機で外国出張するレベルです。
The process of decommissioning is undertaken with utmost carefulness and mutual understanding of all stakeholders.
Let's move back to India, a land of diverse cultures and religions. It is here the people of different faiths come together to celebrate festivals and other occasions. Similar scenes were witnessed during the 355th birth anniversary of the 10th and the last spiritual leader of Sikhism, Guru Gobind Singh, which was celebrated with great fervour and splendour in the country. Let's have a look. Sikhs across India throng Gurudwaras, the holy Sikh shrines, to mark the 350th birth anniversary of the 10th and the last spiritual leader of Sikhism, Guru Gobind Singh. The Guru's birth anniversary, also known as Guru Parv, is celebrated every year as an occasion to remember the brave deeds of Guru Gobind Singh, who organized Sikhs to protect the community's beliefs in the 17th century during the Mughal rule. Devotees participated in Nagar Kirtan, the religious procession, which was marked by carrying off the holy book Guru Granth Sahib in a decorated floral palanquin. Owing to the rising number of COVID cases, the rituals were kept simple and a limited number of devotees were allowed inside the Gurudwara premises.
वही सेलिब्रेट तो अच्छा कर रहे हैं फिलहाल, जैसे कोरोना काल में थोड़ा वो होने के कारण थोड़ा सा धीमा है अब की बार पूरब, वैसे धूमधाम से मनाया जा रहा है पर उतना बड़ा नहीं जितना हर साल मनाया जाता था.
Much enthusiasm was witnessed at Golden Temple, the holiest Sikh shrine in Amritsar, where hundreds of devotees lit candles in the honor of Guru Gobind Singh. Every year on this day, Gurudwaras around the country offer free meals to devotees and visitors in the form of langar to mark the motto of service before self as propagated by Guru Gobind Singh. But this time, owing to the pandemic, it was mostly observed in solitude. Only a few visited the shrines following strict guidelines and offered their prayers. Devotees prayed for the welfare of mankind and to get rid of COVID-19.
मैं गुरु साहब जी अगे यही अरदास करी सी ते यही अगे तक करती रहूँगी कि सारे विश्व दे विच जो भी कोरोना ओमिक्रॉन दी बीमारी फैल रही है वो खत्म होवे ते सारा संसार अपनी खुशियां भरी जिंदगी व्यतीत करे.
Guru Gobind Singh died in 1708 in Maharashtra and was the final living Sikh Guru. Before his death, He declared Guru Granth Sahib as Sikhism's holy scripture. It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We will be back next week at the same time. This is Karim Zimek signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.